Aquarius, negative traits about your future spouse. Negative traits about your future spouse. What are some negative traits about your future spouse that you need to know about? Ooh, right off the bat, your future spouse, Aquarius, they overstep boundaries, okay? The Hierophant in reverse, they don't, this person has like a hard time being controlled or conforming in general, okay? So they give me impulsive energy, but it's like this person can't really control themselves. They could be impulsive, and I'm just getting that this is why they overstep boundaries, okay? I also feel like you're not going to be able to teach this person nothing. They could kind of be hard-headed, or they could just think they know everything, okay? And so it's going to be hard to because terrifying is like, a teacher, you teach him. And with this in reverse, it's like you're not going to be able to teach this person nothing. When it's time for you to maybe lead or get this person to trust your lead, it's like they are not going to want to listen. They're going to be hard-headed, not wanting to take the lead or times, okay? Something like that. But it's like your future spouse just the type could think they know everything, okay? And it also could be hard to keep this person's attention, okay? That's also what I'm getting. Your future spouse could have a short attention span, so it's hard for them to stay focused on one thing for a long time. And that's what I'm getting. Heavily impulsive energy. I wouldn't be surprised if your future spouse is a fire sign or has some fire placements, okay? Okay, and I'm not gonna lie with these I don't know why I'm picking it, but I gotta say it because, okay, so if you have kids or if you guys have kids together, a negative trait about your future spouse is they may not discipline kids well. Like they may not be good with disciplining kids. They kind of could let the kids, run all over them, their kids, whatever. They let their kids kind of run all over them. Okay, whether these are your kids you have with this person or they have their own kids with somebody else, but this person is like, it's like they are not a great discipliner, okay? They can let, again, the kids, run all over them, do whatever they want, okay? Because it's just given their kids don't listen to them, okay? And it's something about that is a negative trait of the future spouse, like just not being able to be a disciplinary the way they should be, okay? Or the fact that they don't discipline at all, something like that. And this could also be that your person is not disciplined, okay? So your future spouse may not have much discipline, okay? They kind of let their urges and their, take over. They could fall into temptation at times, okay? What is negative traits of Aquarius' future spouse? So with the keys here, it's giving me house, right? It's giving me stability when I think of the keys here. And it's just giving your future spouse negative trait could be they could have trouble with stability. Like they could not have stability at all. They could have their stability could be unpredictable. Like there's something about them not being stable, okay? This could actually be mentally, financially, emotionally, but something about this person, your future spouse, not being stable, okay, or not being maybe stable enough is also a negative trait. There may not be no stability within this person, and like I said, it could be within their emotions, their money, their finances, their actual living situation. But something about your future spouse is it stable at times. Like their negative trait is maybe not making sure they're stable enough, okay, maybe doing things to cause an unbalance in their stability, okay? And that is a negative trait you need to know about your future spouse. It's like they don't have discipline, okay? And I feel like that's what causes that. They can lack some type of stability. Your future spouse is definitely prideful, okay? Like they do not apologize, okay? They're rarely going to apologize is what I'm seeing here. Okay, they're not going to be the one to try to solve problems. They have an ego, and they're very prideful, and it's kind of bigger than, it's almost like as if it's bigger than the marriage and the relationship, the connection itself. So they are going to have a hard time putting their pride aside, because they're very prideful and egotistical, even for some, okay? But we just want to say prideful, okay? Egotistical is a reach, but it could be to that extreme, okay? Because something about this person, you know, they can't be, something about this person cannot be tamed, okay? And that is a negative trait about your future spouse that you need to know. Like, your future spouse cannot be tamed. Don't think that you'll be able to control this person, tell them what to do, tell them to sit down, teach them a little something. They know everything, and they do whatever they want. They literally are like a lion. They can't be tamed, okay? That's why I really feel like your future spouse could have fire placements somewhere in their big three. Okay, but yeah, your future spouse cannot be tamed, and it's kind of a negative trait, because there's times where this person may need to really be put in their place, or they need to be taught something, or they just need to be able to be receptive, right? Because it's a connection, and it's like, how can they be receptive if, you know, they're hard to tame? It's like you would never be able to get through to this person, or get this person to open up or something, okay? So since I said it to you, your future spouse may not be very receptive, okay? Not open to, like I said, it makes sense. Like I said, they're not open to kind of fixing things. They're not open to maybe seeing things from your perspective. They're just not receptive, okay? They don't really receive, you know, things well. And this could also make me think your future spouse may have a hard time with being a receiver. Your future spouse could be somebody who overgives a lot, okay? They overgive, and they don't have that balance there, or they just don't know how to sit back and be the receiver at times. Your future spouse could overly extend themselves, okay? And that's a negative trait about your future spouse. Like, they'll do things, go out of the way for people, places, and things, even if it means sacrificing. Your future spouse could also be very bold, okay? They're very confident, but I'm getting that your future spouse could be too strong, okay? And that really is a thing. Like, your future spouse could be somebody who's a little too strong. They could have a warrior spirit, but it's like they don't know when to, and that's what I'm getting at. They don't know when to just be in the relaxing in or the receiving mode. So your future spouse, dang, I'm getting so many messages with y'all, and I just got 2 of the tarot out. That's it. But it's like this person's a little bit too strong, to the point where it's gonna be hard to, like, again, get them to open up. Like I said, receptive. It's gonna be hard to really show this person how to be in a softer energy, or to lighten up some, or to get this person to relax. I just feel like this person is a little bit too strong, and that is coming out as a negative trait, and I'm just getting it's negative. Not, you know, you're supposed to be strong, but theirs is like a so strong energy, so strong-minded type of thing, where it's hard to get through to them. That's what makes it negative. Not that they're necessarily strong, okay? But they could have a very strong spirit, and it's going to be really hard to get this person to ease up, and let their guard down. That's the freaking word I was trying to get to. It's going to be really hard for this person to let their guards down, okay? And you have to let your guard down in order to be in a daggone relationship, let alone a marriage, right? So, yeah, maybe you're going to be teaching this person that, like, to learn to open up, ease up, and relax some. Stop being so, playing so hard is what I just heard. Stop playing so hard, or stop trying to be the strong one. Something like that. Because, you know, as they're your future spouse, you're going to try to, you know, help them in ways where they don't have to always be the strongest one. And it's like, I'm just getting like somebody trying to tell that to somebody, relay that to somebody. But it's something about your future spouse. They're just strong, very much warrior spirit, and you can't get through to them because it's like they're it's like they have this pride in them to stay strong, to never show weakness. That's also what it is. Your future spouse is not going to show weakness, and it is a negative trait, because that, again, something about, you know, if you happen to have those certain traits when you're in a relationship, okay, it's just obvious. How can you know, be in a relationship and you not being vulnerable? So something about that, your future spouse may not be vulnerable. They may not open up and tell you things, could even keep things hidden under the rug simply because they aren't vulnerable. They have to portray that they're this strong person and nothing can, you know, get in their way. Nothing can make them feel a type of way. Nobody can tell them where to go. They have all the direction. They know everything, okay? And your future spouse could also think they know everything, okay? It's also a negative trait. Your future spouse, you're going to think they know everything, okay? Your future spouse negative trait could also be trying to tame others, though, okay? They could have a controlling nature. That's also giving fire sign energy. But something about your future spouse, they may be a little controlling. They may not like to be tamed, but they want to tame other people. So yeah, your future spouse could also be like Capricorns in a way. Your future spouse has a double standards issue, okay? That's their negative trait. They could think that, you know, they don't have to do something, like, let's say within the relationship, that you're not supposed to do something, but they can, okay? They could come off like that, and that's their negative trait. It's like, you can't have double standards. If you think somebody shouldn't be doing something, then you shouldn't be doing it either, something like that. So they could definitely be a little controlling, could want to control things, or they could have double standards on their views about, like, what man or the woman can and can't do, something like that, okay? What's a negative trait about Aquarius' future spouse? Yeah, I really feel like your future spouse is just really prideful. Like, that's probably one of their biggest negative traits. That and it's negative because I'm also getting they could maybe miss out on a lot of opportunities because of their pride. Their pride could always get them in trouble. Their pride is it's like they almost let it take over them. That's what makes it in the negative aspect, okay? That's why that's a negative trait of theirs, because they could let their pride get the best of them, okay? Which means when people let their pride get the best of them, it's kind of like it ain't much you can again tell somebody. Yeah, I really feel like you're not gonna be able to tell this person shit, okay, Aquarius? I'm also getting in that instance then too, your future spouse could be a little stubborn, okay? I'm also picking that up too. So they could have a little bit of stubborn traits. You know, they're not gonna budge, something like that. And they could have fixed sign thinking about it. They could have fixed energy in some type of way for some. Okay, so let's use my cards. What are some negative traits about Aquarius' future spouse? Your future spouse may be somebody who kind of plays it small with background coming out. Your future spouse, they could play it small a lot, okay? Somebody who sits kind of in the background, who stays in the background, okay? And they don't really have much, they don't really showcase much about themselves, and that's kind of a negative trait because they're maybe not going to ever put themselves out there, okay? Even when it comes to you, they won't be like the assertive one. Though they may be like that with you, something about them, though, their negative trait is that they tend to not be the assertive one, though, at times. They're more, or not, maybe I'm not saying the right word, but they're not somebody who, they are someone, you know, where they would miss an opportunity because they play small. They like to keep themselves hidden in the background, okay? And that's kind of a negative trait of theirs. It's going to maybe be hard to get this person out of their shell and to maybe pop out or out of this planet small energy. What is and I'm also getting with background, your future spouse is the type to like sweep things under the rug. It's like the way she's looking forward, the way my cards in, she's like looking forward this way. It's given she's not looking back, right? But I'm getting like your future spouse tends to not face things that maybe need to be faced. You know, your future spouse negative trait is like they don't address things that need to be addressed, okay? They will keep it in the background, keep it hidden, sweep it under the rug, okay? And, you know, that's negative trait because it's like you gotta be real with situations. You gotta, you know, be realistic. You gotta confront things, okay? Maybe your future spouse negative trait too is even they'll hold things in, and then it's like when they go off, they go off. That's also your future spouse negative trait. They don't really know how to address things. Like I said, they don't know how to be assertive in the moment or address things to the point where they would hold it in, but instead they'll hold it in until they can't take it anymore, and then they'll go off, okay? So your future spouse, what do you call it? It's just like your future spouse negative trait is that they have a hard time like expressing themselves or confronting things or addressing things. They have a hard time addressing the elephant in the room, things like that. They have a hard time with addressing things that I want to say that need attention. And that's kind of, again, like discipline. Like I was saying, something about your future spouse may have some type of thing with discipline. Like I said, whether it's with the kids or them in general. But I'm also getting like with the impulsiveness. Something about your future spouse may not have that discipline. Because it's like, even in terms of when it's time for them to address something they need to address, they will sweep it right under the rug, act like they don't see it, act like they don't see what's going on, or see that something needs attention. They'll wait till it maybe gets too bad, they'll wait till the situation or till something gets worse in order to address it, okay? Other than that, if they don't, they'll still keep it, hidden. Your future spouse may just half-ass things, okay? They may just give just enough. That's the type of energy I'm getting. And that's a negative trait of theirs. They can never be fully in, okay, or they can never fully do something. They kind of half-ass, or they're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out with things, okay? And that's a negative trait of your future spouse. They may just, something about your future spouse not giving things their all, or them half-assing things. And for some, like, I'm getting like your future spouse may have trouble with being all in. Yeah, when it comes, especially, when it comes to your marriage and things like that, your future spouse is gonna, some of y'all, your future spouse might actually have a problem with, it's like they could your future spouse has a negative trait of like wanting to be committed but not wanting to be committed at the same time. Something like that. Or saying that they're, acting like saying they're gonna give you their all, but they only give you, half or something. Something about that your future spouse may just not be someone who's fully committed, I want to say. And let's hope it's not in that way. But your future spouse is somebody who could have trouble with like fully committing to things or giving their all to things and not half-assing things. Yeah, and then with this owl just flying out, and I barely even shuffled the owl flying out. Your future spouse is a know-it-all. They're gonna think they know everything, okay? Like the owl is wisdom, okay? And we already said something about that in the beginning. Your future spouse thinks they know everything. They think they are like the smartest person in the room is what I'm getting. And that is a negative trait of theirs. Like they are right, and that's on that. Like, even if the facts are like shown in their face, they are right, okay? Always think they're right, something like that. Always think they're right, always think they're the smartest in the room, always think they have the answers, okay? Your future spouse could be a people pleaser, okay? Not gonna lie, because I'm also getting it with the Hierophant. It's like people who also, because I get that with people who have a hard time with discipline, it's because they keep trying to like please people, right? So a negative trait of your future spouse, they may definitely be a people pleaser, okay? It's like they always have to do whatever to please other people, that they even forget about themselves because they so busy wanting to please everybody else and make everybody else happy, okay? So that is a negative trait of your future spouse, just always wanting to please people. Like, you cannot be a people pleaser all your life. That's not something that's not even a way of life a way that you should live life, okay? And everybody falls habit to it. But I'm getting that is going to be, you know, your future spouse, one of their negative traits. They want to please everybody, and you can't please everybody. Say something about that, them breaking their back, overextending themselves, or sacrificing. So, yeah, I meant to insert it at that point. But, yeah, your future spouse definitely is a people pleaser. As a negative trait of theirs. It's crazy though, crazy because you're gonna be like, damn, when do you ever have a vulnerable moment? When are you ever weak? Because this person is gonna act so strong to the point it's negative, because it's like you can't get through to them. You're not gonna be able to see through them. But of course, if you intuitive, yes you can. But it's like that's how strong. Yeah, your future spouse can even have a wall up. Okay, it's hard to like get in with this person. Like I said, it's hard. They're not receptive, so it's hard to get through to this person. I'm just getting like they so damn strong that it's actually like to where it's bad. Okay, that's when you know it's bad, because yes, we supposed to be strong and like you better have that warrior spirit, but their shit is like top notch. Okay, like, to the point, like I said, it can make them even miss out on opportunities. Or again, make them feel like they're being overworked or something, because they're always trying to be the strong one. This is your future spouse is like the one who always trying to be the best worker, or they always breaking their back for work to go to work. And you know, and it's like they do it because they have this negative trait of wanting to be strong. And it's not even like them being strong. I want to reiterate, it's not even about them being strong. This is more so like they act strong. They act very like, don't get me wrong, they are strong here with the strength card coming out, but it's like your person could act. It could be an act. Like they you know, a lot of people play strong, but doesn't mean that they don't have their moments where they're vulnerable and they're feeling weak and they're feeling low. So there is something about your future spouse. The negative trait is kind of trying to hide that. Like I said, they sweep things under the rug, so they could just be hiding their vulnerableness behind this act of, I'm the strongest person, I'm strong. You know, instead of just being authentic with who they are, they may hide that aspect, and it's just tied to how they want to be the strong person. They always want to be looked at as the strong one, the one who never gave up, the one who never fell down, took an L for a while, or who messed up a little bit, made an error, made a couple mistakes. They want to be the one that's, you know, the strong one that never like fucks up. Your future spouse can even be a perfectionist. Okay, they can even think that they're perfect, that, you know, they don't fuck up, that they don't have fuck ups in life, and that's delusional, right? Because everybody fucks up. Yeah, your future spouse is very prideful. Okay, that's just like the theme of y'all. They may just not take accountability as one of their negative traits. Let's get three more. What are the negative traits about Aquarius' future spouse? Your future spouse could overthink or be in their head a lot. Okay, they could overthink a lot. That's a negative trait of theirs. Overanalyzing things. Okay. Your future spouse could be overly masculine. Okay, your future spouse may just operate a little bit too much in their masculinity. Okay, so whether man or woman, this is a woman, she's very much operating in her masculine more than her feminine, or having that balance. She has more masculine than anything. Okay, that's a negative trait of her. She doesn't have that balance where she's feminine and masculine. She operates more in her masculine. I'm also getting, if you're a girl, this man, he's very masculine. Okay, very macho. Can't tell this man nothing, like I said, right? So yeah, that's also a negative trait. Very masculine. Doesn't have that soft side to give you, to offer you, because they be so much in their masculine energy. Okay, they may be a nurturer and all, but it's like they just, that tough side is just in them. That masculinity just kind of takes over them, and that's not having that balance there. Okay, it's the negative trait. Your future spouse Aquarius may just be like, bruh, this didn't come out, but like I'm about to start shuffling and it was on the top. Okay, so that's just double confirmation, y'all. You got an egotistical spouse. Your future spouse could think they all that in a bag of chips, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's a negative trait though. They're a little too egotistical, okay? Very much in their ego. They let it overpower them, and that's the part that's negative, okay? Because you do have unhealthy ego, and then you have healthy ego. Your spouse is more so has an unhealthy ego, and that's the part that's negative, okay? Just want to keep adding that part. But yeah, your future spouse's negative trait is also like that it's just really giving, like your future spouse may really do some masculine type of things, and you're not gonna, and it's made, and that's their negative trait. Like they're just gonna be in a masculine energy to the point where it's almost a turn off, okay? That's how masculine your future spouse is gonna be, okay? Your future spouse could do some foul stuff. This is my old Nah card, right? Your future spouse could do, the negative trait of theirs is like doing some foul stuff. Okay, your future spouse, like I said, your future spouse is the type to be like in the background doing some wild stuff, okay? Or they be in the background more so hiding. Because I'm picking up like your future spouse negative trait is like they could do some foul stuff, some very questioning things, okay? So I don't really have a specific word for this, but their negative trait is they could do some foul type of things, like out of the way things, unnecessary things even, that have people like questioning them, okay? Your future spouse could just want to be successful, okay? Their only goal is to just have success and money in life, and that may be a negative trait of theirs. They could be overly, materialistic is the part that makes it negative, okay? So they could have this negative trait of always wanting to be successful, or always chasing after money and success, but more so for the status and the money and the material gains, okay? And that's a negative trait. So your future spouse could be someone who's kind of greedy, kind of only thinks about money. Money's the only thing on their minds. Again, success, but more so for the status and the material gains and the gains that just comes from being successful, not necessarily like being a successful person overall. This is giving more so like materialistic type of success, okay? So your future spouse could be very materialistic, all about their status, their wealth, to the point like they maybe even do anything for it at times, or that could literally be their only focus. And that's not good, because it's other things you're supposed to focus on in life, right? Okay, so yeah, that's also a negative trait of theirs. They could live for the money, for the material possessions that their life has to offer, okay? They could sometimes just make success their number one priority and forget about like their relationships and the other connections and people that they have around them, or the other things that need attention in their life, okay? So yeah, that's what I'm getting for Aquarius. Just a little bit of negative traits about your future spouse. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next one.